We're Group 5 and we had the Annuity project. I'm Naya.
I'm Devin.
I'm Avni.
I'm Andrew.
Matthew.
So for our first question, we had to make a decision between two options. Option A being he's giving you $12,000 right now, no strings attached. And option B being he'll be giving you $3,000 a year for the next 4 years. So for the first option, he's giving us $12,000, so that's already in present value terms. For option B, we would also do present value terms. We would calculate it because it's being compared against the first option and it has to be in the same present value. We calculated each option in beginning of payment and end of payment, and beginning of payment was higher, so we picked that because of the discounting period.
Okay, so your first option is to get $12,000 now. And for Part B, you have to calculate the beginning of the period and the end of the period. So basically what we did was we got 4% for the rate. We have 4 periods. We did -3,000 because you're giving the money to the bank, and 1 because that represents the beginning of the period. We did the same thing for the end of the period, except we changed the last number to 0 because that represents the end of the period. Out of those two numbers, we figured out that 11,325 was higher. So we're comparing that to 12,000, and since 12,000 is higher, we choose the option of getting $12,000 now.
So for the next part of the question, your rich aunt also wants to give you 2 options. The first is, instead of giving you money now, she wants to wait until 5 years later and give you a lump sum of $10,000. So this is in the future value, which is what we use for Part D, which for Part D, this option is $2,000 a year for the next 5 years, with the interest from the bank being 5%. We also calculated beginning of the period and end of period for this option as well, using the future value to compare to Part C.
So in the calculation, we didn't have to do anything for Part C since it was already in future value terms. We only had to calculate Part D. So we used basically the formula future value, 5%, 5 years. You're giving the bank 2,000, so it's -2,000. And we did end of the period, which was 0, and beginning of the period, which was 1. We found that for end of the period, it was 11,051. And for beginning of the period, it was 11,603, so we chose the 11,603. And comparing that to the 10,000, it was greater, which led to our decision of decision B.
So for Part E, it's almost the same thing as Part D. You're getting $2,000 a year for the next 5 years, but now the interest rate is 6%. So the formula for this would be future value is 6% interest rate, 5 years. Payment is -2,000 because you're giving the bank the money. There's no present value, and you're using 1 because you're discounting at the beginning of the period instead of the end, because it'll give you a higher value. And then that'll give you a total of $11,950.64, which you're going to choose over the 10,000 in future value terms.
Thank you.